Hi, I'm Julie Hassan and you are watching Everyday Dish TV. Today we are going to make some gluten-free pumpkin spice muffins that are out of this world. Super easy to make too, and I'm telling you, you're going to go nuts for them. All right, so let's get started. We are going to begin with our dry ingredients, which I like to mix into a bowl with a whisk. So I have some sorghum flour, and if you're not familiar with sorghum flour, check it out. This one's from Bob's Red Mill, and it's a very sweet tasting, not like sugary sweet, but it's just a really nice flavorful grain. We also have some super fine brown rice flour, and this one is from Authentic Foods. I like the super fine because then you don't get any of the grittiness that you might get from other rice flours. I also have some potato starch. This is also from Bob's Red Mill. And now we have all of our leavening and our spices. So we have baking powder, we have baking soda, we have xanthan gum, we have a pinch of salt, and if you like your baked goods a little saltier, you could go ahead and add a little bit more salt to it. I have some allspice, I have some cinnamon, I have some ground ginger, and I have some freshly ground nutmeg. Now, I really like to grind my nutmeg myself. I have a little grinder, and then the nutmegs look like this, and it's really easy to buy, and you just can grind it right in. I actually grind it on a little piece of parchment paper and then measure it out, but this stuff is incredible this way. Okay, so now we're gonna whisk this together. Until it's well mixed. And so you're doing this basically instead of sifting. You're sifting it with a whisk. Okay, so that looks good. Now we're gonna do our wet ingredients. So this I'm gonna do in the mixer. You could do it in a big bowl if you wanted to. We're gonna add our brown sugar and our granulated sugar in there because, hey, sugar is pretty good. We have our pumpkin. So I'm gonna add in, let's see if I can do this carefully without, there we go, getting it all over. Okay, we have some canola oil, and we have some ground golden flaxseed. And I like the golden because with the other regular flaxseed, you can kind of see it a little bit more and the flavor's a little bit stronger. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna whisk this together until it's smooth and emulsified. You're gonna wanna give it a quick mix and then mix it one more time because sometimes, you know, the very bottom of the bowl of the mixer, things need a little more mixing. Let's give it one more quick mix. Okay, I mean, how easy is that? It looked like a lot of ingredients, but it's really very simple. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're gonna add our flour, our dry mixture into the bowl. Carefully. I think I got it. Got it. All right, and I'm gonna add half my milk because it just mixes better this way. And this is just regular soy milk. So you could use vanilla soy milk, you could use almond milk, you could use whichever non-dairy milk you wanted. Okay, so now it's partially mixed. We're gonna just give it a good scrape around here at the bottom, make sure everything's mixed. And we're gonna add the rest of the milk. And then we're gonna mix it on slow until it's combined. Okay, now I'm gonna give it a quick mix on high because I like to do it, just make sure everything's smoothly mixed together. Simple. All right, now I've got raisins. So I'm using organic raisins. You could use chocolate chips if you wanted to. It's good with both. I just like my raisins with my spice. So I'm gonna add, whoops. Let me lift this in. We're gonna add those in. Okay, and it's done. So now we're gonna be able to scoop it into our pan. Now, one of the things that I love about gluten-free batters is you can overmix them a little bit and they'll be fine. So like when you're doing a regular flour batter, you have to worry sometimes about activating the gluten too much, and then you get holes in your muffins. You sort of get tunnels, but you don't get that with gluten-free batters because there's no gluten to activate, so it's kind of fun. All right, let's put this here. Let me move all this out of my way. Okay, so I've got my muffin tin all, lined with my little liners. I also have right here some organic sugar, and I've got a little bit of ground cinnamon, and we're gonna mix that together. And the reason I like to use the organic sugar here is I like the coarser grind of the sugar. So you don't necessarily want the coarser grind in your muffins because sometimes it doesn't dissolve all the way and it makes your muffins a little funky. But as a topping, it's incredible. So you could use any kind of coarse sugar on the top mixed with your cinnamon. All right, and let's scoop. So these muffins, again, there is one other difference, and that's when you fill these muffin cups, it's a little counterintuitive because you're thinking that you're overfilling them, which you would if you were using regular batter, but you're not with the gluten-free batter. So you have to fill them beyond what you would ordinarily do. So these are like kind of beyond the rim a little bit there. And they will bake up beautifully like bakery muffins. You don't have to worry at all. Look at those. All right, the last muffin. Whoop. Let me just scrape the rest from the bowl. So you can kind of even them out if you need to, if you didn't scoop them all the way. Oh, I should add too, I really like using one of these because your muffins come out much more even. They bake much more evenly that way because everyone has the same amount, or should. Okay, and this is where I go back and go, all right, that one needs a little bit more, whatever. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're gonna sprinkle them with the cinnamon sugar, which will give them the nicest crackly tops. All right, and now we're gonna put them in the oven. It's preheated 350 degrees for about 35 minutes. Okay, it's been 35 minutes. I believe they are done baking. You will know that they're done because of the way they look, but also you can insert a tester or a skewer inside them and just double check that it comes out clean. But look at these beautiful muffins. Are these not amazing? I worked really hard to come up with a fabulous gluten-free muffin recipe that tasted like something you would get at a bakery, that nobody would ever know is gluten-free. They were moist and delicious, and these are the muffins. So I hope you go make them, and I'm so glad you joined me today. And for this recipe and many, many, many other fabulous recipes, check out everydaydish.tv. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you soon.